If you have been thinking about this book, let me share 2 stories that have happened with my kids that I feel like kind of demonstrate that the things that I'm learning in this book are actually working. My youngest is kind of struggling with big feelings. Today my 2 kids were playing and they tend to play a little rough. My younger son pushed my older son and he fell over, and he immediately knew that he did something wrong and looked back at me and looked at his older brother who was now on the ground, and he went, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to push you that hard. And then looked at me and he said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And I was like, why do we feel like that was the wrong thing to do? And he explained, well, I pushed him too hard and we were playing too rough. And I said, thank you for saying sorry, you guys can continue to play. And he was totally fine. Prior to having instituted some of these things that I've been learning in this book, he would have had a full-blown meltdown and felt horrible, and like that would have ruined our entire trajectory of the rest of the day. Another moment that happened was I actually took my kids to go paint acrylic like plaster things. I reminded them multiple times, these are plaster, these are acrylic, like they can break very easily, they can shatter. My oldest son came home with his bag, plopped it right on the table, and I was like, that might have broke, and he was like, it's fine. He went on with his day. Eventually he came back and took it out, and the ear had snapped off of it, and he immediately started crying. I went over to him and I was like, hey, I would be right there with you. That would be really upsetting. I know that you worked really hard on this and you were so careful with it up until the moment that you popped it on the table and it broke, and that sucks. That's a really crappy feeling to feel. Came up with the solution of super gluing it together. He explained to me that it really sucked for him because he felt like he had worked so hard and he was really careful with it for so long of the day, and that in the very last moment of the day it broke. And he was able to say that to me. He was able to verbalize what was making him so upset, and the fact that he felt comfortable enough to cry as a 7.5-year-old of being upset over something and saying that was huge for me. I know for me as a kid, I felt like crying was a sign of weakness. Like if you cried, you weren't tough. And I still feel that today as an adult. Like as an adult, if I cry or have any sort of show of emotion, I go lock myself in a room because I feel like it's too much for people to handle. Learning in this book that for kids to have feelings is totally fine, and in fact it's good. It's just figuring out how to regulate and to have that emotional intelligence to be able to communicate and say what is going on and why you're angry, you're sad, you're frustrated, you're confused, verbalizing it, and then coming to a solution. This is helping me with that. Obviously it's not an overnight kind of thing, but like, long story short, this is a good book. I'll leave a link for anyone else who is also struggling with parenting because you are not alone.